down here today. It is February 14th, Valentine's Day, down here at the Department of Labor for New York State. We'll go up here and make sure to respect our rights to video record in this public lot.
The public are not allowed to film inside of our office. Okay, well, you can leave or we can call the police.
You mind if I take your photo?
No, go ahead.
Can I get clear access of your face?
You take it, you do whatever you want. I'm not gonna stop you.
Okay, but I need to see your face.
So it sounds like they just don't want you here.
Look.
Well, if they want you removed from the property, they can have, it's just like say you were in 7-Eleven or whatever.
No. 7-Eleven is not public. 7-Eleven is a private business. I have a call number on the computer. I can get that call number now so I can reference this easier.
You can go down to the station. You can go down.
You're not going to give that call number out?
No, I'll give you down to the station when we complete the report. You have no problem giving you that report as soon as you come down and get it.
Did you mute your body camera while you're in there talking?
Everything is on here, sir.
Wormus filed a Freedom of Information request with the city of Lockport for police body camera footage stemming from a February recorded audit of a State Department of Labor office. Lockport Police responded to the scene with body-worn cameras rolling. But the request was denied, then appealed by Wormus, and then denied again, prompting Wormus to sue the city. On the day the lawsuit was served, Wormus was there. His video recordings at Lockport City Hall over the summer are ruffling some feathers. 4 employees in the clerk's office filed harassment charges against him. According to the complaints filed by employees in the clerk's office, Wormus entered the building with a camera to film them, which caused them alarm.
Follow-up to a story reported recently by News 4 Investigates involves a local constitutional advocate. A judge has dismissed harassment charges filed by 4 City of Lockport clerks against a First Amendment advocate who recorded.
Hi.
How are we doing?
Doing all right.
So I'm here to serve process on 4 city employees. Looking for Sarah Lanzo,
I'm Sarah.
Jennifer Wochna,
She's not here.
Carol Edwards,
She's not here.
and Emily Stoddard.
Okay.
Listen, y'all, these kids want to act up in school, want to go to school and embarrass you, want to make like they got no home training. So I told my son, don't go to school embarrassing no more. I take care of you, son. I give you anything you want. I discipline you. But you're going to embarrass me like this? No, so now I'm going to cut his hair.
Oh, I got to ask you.
Hey,
do me a favor. Wait, SWAT guys. Now I saw you were in a restricted area. Now I want your identification. You're not getting it.
Don't embarrass me. I told him, don't embarrass me. No.
Alright, Erie County fam, this is a recap video of the February 14th Labor Department in Lockport, New York. We're going to recap that a little bit. The full video is in the description. Then I'm going to show you the process of FOIL requesting that body camera footage and appealing the denied FOIL requested footage and documents, because them public records are derived for law enforcement purpose. Even though they're public records, they're not for the public. Then we'll go through the appeal process. We'll show you that denial, and then we're going to serve the city of Lockport with a lawsuit, and we're going to take them to New York Supreme Court, and we're going to sue them for that public records. Then, fam, comes the newest update to this saga. How we smoked them in court and won those public records and forced them to pay our attorney fees. And the update on the filed harassment charges, how they were dismissed, and we served them with a second lawsuit for violating civil rights in Lockport. Let's get into it, fam. Now, I know you guys don't have a report number, but you guys definitely have a call number on the computer. I can get that call number now so I can reference this easier.
You can go down to the station. You can go down.
You're not going to give that call number out?
No, I'll give you down to the station when we complete the report, sir. I have no problem doing that.
What about you, sir? Can I get that call number from you?
It's the same sort of thing.
Well, I know, but you guys got a call here on your computer.
Well, yes, you can foil the report, but I'm more than happy to give you the report. Okay?
See if I can get that call number myself.
Don't open that door, okay?
See if I can't get that call number myself.
I was more than happy to help you, okay? But I think you're being difficult for a purpose, and you're not going to get...
Asking for a call number is not difficult.
Sir,
That's something to reference this by.
That's
don't
not.
even know if that's the right call
I
number.
don't. That's why you should just give it to me now.
I don't know what it is.
You don't have a call number to come here.
No,
Now you
sir.
get dispatched down here.
Not until I get the report done. Okay, I have no problem giving you that report as soon as you come down and get it.
Did you mute your body camera while you're in there talking?
Everything is on here, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
Well, Erie County fam, what we seen there was a perfect display of ego. Well, that officer just could not let go. He would not give me the call number or the report number because it wasn't written up yet. The number already existed, and I know this because as soon as they left, I went ahead and got off the phone and got that number. That number is BL-001900-23. The number was easy to get. All I had to do is call the Lockport Police and go ahead and request that number and give them the location, and they gave us that number. So that is the problem with the policing, is that egos won't let go. What was the point in not giving that number out? Why did I have to call the police department and ask for it? He could have just gave it to me. Instead, he accused me of being difficult, but what the real question is, Erie County fam, who was being the difficult one? How you doing? I got a FOIL request to turn in here. A FOIL request? All right, Erie County fam, let me take you through the steps of the Freedom of Information Law request here in New York, which is the equivalent of the federal version of FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request. This FOIL request was submitted on the 15th of February and denied on the 20th of March, as you can see on this paper of the denial. So, New York State FOIL law states that a municipality must respond within 5 days with a response letter acknowledging the letter. Then after that, they have 20 days to give the information, ask for more time to get the information given the request took longer than 20 days, or deny the information. Let it go on the record that the city of Lockport already violated the New York State law by 12 days, taking 37 days to get this to me in a denial. Now, to put more violations of New York State law on the record against the city of Lockport. The city of Lockport has denied this FOIL request because the records are compiled for law enforcement purposes and may be relevant to a pending law enforcement investigation. So, because the body camera footage was created for the police department, they think that it is exempt from being called a public record. And I also remember the officer saying about these reports and records.
Okay, I have no problem giving you that report as soon as you come down and get it.
But now, all of a sudden, they seem to have a problem with me coming down and getting it. It makes you wonder, fam, what did this gentleman say in the back room that they are trying to cover up?
Okay, I have no problem giving you that report as soon as you come down and get it.
Now, the next step to New York State FOIL, once you get a denial, you have 30 days to appeal this denial. So now we're going to head back down to the city of Lockport to appeal this denial for most ridiculous circumstances I have ever heard. Where's the transparency, fam? Sounds more like government cover-up or corruption, in my opinion. Down here today, March 23rd at Lockport Municipal Building to go to the city clerk's office. How you guys doing? Is Sarah here? Sarah.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm here to appeal the denied FOIL request.
Are you familiar with the appeal process?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have the written document?
Yeah, I wrote an appeal up here. I said on that denial that the public records I requested were compiled for law enforcement. Don't you think that's a little irrelevant who they were compiled for? The public records are public records, right?
I can't speak any further. It's gone through legal at this point. I'll send it back and we'll get
Yeah.
more information.
Right.
Thank
Well,
you.
Alright. Seeing as the city of Lockport liked to play games, after the 20 days was up on the appeal and I got no response, the following days I called to talk to Sarah about the appeal, whether it has been denied or not, because I was losing my patience with playing games with these guys. So here is a phone call from that conversation.
Can I help you? Yes, sir. My name is Dan. I filed a FOIL request with you guys back on the 15th of February. Okay. You guys denied my FOIA request, and I appealed it on the 23rd of March. It's been 20 business days. I haven't heard back. I'm trying to figure out what's
I know a reply went out to you on Friday, Dan.
Last Friday, a reply went out?
Yeah.
I haven't received it yet.
Okay. Well, if you need me to send it out again, I can send out another copy of it. I know I sent it out on
Can you email it?
I would send it by postmark so we can verify.
I mean, email is very, very reliable.
If that's your preference, I can send it.
Yeah, if you can email me a request, because if you denied it, this way I can get the lawsuit going quicker.
I'll send it out as the, I'll send out the,
Are you denying it again?
It has gone through legal, and it's being denied.
All right, well, can you email that to me so I can get the lawsuit going today?
Our standard process and protocol in this is actually to send it back in the mail, and I can send it with a reply sticker on it if you would prefer.
I would prefer that you emailed it so I can get it today. Because obviously, if you mailed it last Friday and it hasn't gotten here before, clearly your mailing process isn't that reliable, or you're lying to me, one of the two. Could you please email that to me? My email address is on that paperwork.
I don't appreciate the way that you're speaking to me right now.
I don't appreciate the way you're speaking to me right now. You're the public servant. You work for us.
And there's no need for you to talk to me in that tone.
I don't care what tone you want. You're making this difficult. You can easily email that to me so I can file the lawsuit.
Erie County fam, I did receive the appeal denial. I received it on the 19th of April. The appeal was filed on March 23rd, as you've seen earlier. 20 days past that would put the appeal due date on the 12th of April. The phone call you just heard was on the 17th of April, when I did not get it by the 12th. She claimed that she mailed out a denial of that request on the 14th of Friday on April. Well, she lied, fam. If you take a look at the envelopes here, she actually tried to cover her tracks by sending 2 letters out to show that she did send one and then another. But the problem is, everything's postmark date. As you can see, both letters were sent out on the 17th. Had I not called, who knows how long the games would have continued for. But I can tell you one thing, she is a liar. Now back to the appeal. They have denied the appeal for the exact same reasons that body camera footage and police reports are derived for law purposes only, and they are not subject to FOIL, and they are not public records. They are not due to the public because they are the only ones who get to look at them. The most ridiculous thing I ever heard. So now we're gonna have to serve them up with a lawsuit. Let's go ahead and file that lawsuit and go serve them papers, fam. Today is August 18th, down here to serve the city of Lockport.
Hello. Can I help you?
How you doing? No, I'm not. I don't need any help at this time.
You don't need anything?
No.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah Lawrence. My name's Samantha. I'm a process server. I'm just here to serve you with a lawsuit. Okay. I think that's it. Okay. It's LAN still? Yep. Thank you. Have a good one. You too.
Yeah, if you can email me a request, because if you denied it, this way I can get the lawsuit going quicker.
I'll send it out as the,
So the previous video, body camera footage is only for police viewing, not the public. We filed a lawsuit against the city of Lockport, and 10 days later, they went ahead and filed harassment charges against me, fam. In retaliation for filing a lawsuit, they went ahead and filed 4 counts of harassment for exercising a constitutional right for simply filming in public. Just when you thought the city of Lockport couldn't be any more corrupt, they go ahead and pull this little stunt. But I'm not the only one they've caught the attention of. They've caught the attention of the mainstream media as well.
Lockport City Court today.
The harassment charges he's facing for an incident at Lockport City Hall earlier this year. Channel 2's Dave McKinley has an update for us. Dave?
Mary Alice, these charges, which are violations legally akin to a traffic ticket, may not be tied to what happened at the Capitol, but the defendant here wonders if that has more to do with his being charged now. Dan Warmus is an auto mechanic from Alden, who is also a First Amendment auditor. These are folks who go around exercising their First Amendment right to take pictures and video from public places and publicly accessible areas of public buildings, sometimes to the consternation of those working in them. His YouTube channel highlighting his activities auditing Erie County has nearly 80,000 subscribers. He'll tell you he doesn't do this for kicks, but for you and for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, rights are like muscles. If you don't exercise them, you'll lose them. And there's a constitutionally protected activity to video record your public servants in the course of their duties.
It's a policy that we...
First Amendment auditors are sometimes cited for violating building policies, many of which courts have determined themselves are unconstitutional. Sometimes they're trespassed or charged with crimes. In February, after an audit at the State Labor Department office in Lockport resulted in a police encounter, Warmus filed a FOIL request for their body cam footage. When it was denied, he went to Lockport City Hall to file an appeal, and he recorded it. 10 days later, a police report was generated, and Warmus was charged with harassment, something his lawyer says never should have happened.
He was courteous, he was polite, he did everything properly, and when he was done, he left.
For most, a charge that's not even a misdemeanor may not mean much, but for Warmus, it could be different. Thought to curtail his activities until after his probationary period is over.
I mean, some people might feel that it's time to, yield to the government what they want, but, our founding fathers didn't yield.
We put the same question to his lawyer.
What I advise Mr. Warmus is to not violate any laws.
Federal prosecutors had once moved to have Warmus's auditing activities curtailed as part of his probation. A judge would not go for that, but did say he can't commit any violation of the law. Because he'd been to Lockport City Hall before without incident, he's wondering if the charges were pressed this time as part of an effort to harass him, or as he put it, jam him up. On your side in the studio, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.
News at 4:30. Some people think he's stirring up controversy for clicks and views. Others say he's providing a community service. Either way, Dan Warmus finds himself in a difficult situation these days. His First Amendment auditing activities in the city of Lockport are prompting accusations of harassment, which he denies.
News 4 Investigates takes a closer look at how these harassment charges, if they stand, could impact conditions of his federal probation. Luke Moretti has more.
I will never go down the wrong side of history. I'm not built like that. It's not going to happen. I will continue going at this. I will report the truth.
A defiant Daniel Warmus tells News 4 Investigates that his First Amendment auditing of government facilities will continue despite legal pitfalls all around him.
Yes, it does take emotional toll, and it takes a toll where I think to myself, should I give it up? Should I stop? Is it worth the prosecution that I could face? Is it worth having to stare down judges? And the answer is yes.
You see, Warmus's freedom could be at stake. The self-described accountability auditor is still on probation for his participation in the January 6th insurrection of the U.S. Capitol. His federal probation comes with special conditions, namely that if his audit activities result in charges of harassment or disorderly conduct, that could be considered a violation, and Warmus could face several options, including incarceration.
And I'm not afraid. I'm not going to say prison is fun. Yeah, nobody needs to ask permission for their First Amendment rights. You have to understand that, right?
Warmus runs the YouTube channel Auditing Erie County. He posts videos of his encounters at government facilities, testing constitutional protections, and then grading the interaction with a pass or fail.
What was the point in not giving that number out?
With 81,000 subscribers and counting, his stuff gets seen. Critics say Warmus, who considers himself a journalist, is out to get clicks and views by stirring up controversy and embarrassing government employees.
Why do you guys not have your body cameras on? What are these things for? So you can violate people's rights without being on video?
But Warmus says every audit subject receives the same treatment and that he very rarely cuts down video. And if he does, it's to keep it under an hour long.
Number one, I want the integrity. I don't want people to be like, well, he creates a controversy, then he just shows what you want to see. Right? That never happens with auditing Erie County. Now, if I wanted to have 200,000 subscribers, if I was there for clicks and views, the best way for me to do that would be to become an entertainment auditor, to cut down the videos, to not show past videos. Yeah, I'm here to appeal the denied full request.
His video recordings at Lockport City Hall over the summer are ruffling some feathers. 4 employees in the clerk's office filed harassment charges against him. Warmus, who's from Alden, denies harassing anyone and believes the city is retaliating against him for his Freedom of Information requests and a lawsuit he filed challenging the city's denial of those requests.
I don't see no harassment. My attorneys don't see no harassment. All I see is malicious prosecution, retaliation.
Media attorney Joseph Finnerty, who specializes in First Amendment matters, has been watching the Warmus case closely.
He has a right to be in a publicly open spot, particularly a spot that's open by government for the people to come into.
According to the complaints filed by employees in the clerk's office, Warmus entered the building with a camera to film them, which caused them alarm.
He's there to do the people's business. He's there to oversee the conduct of government. And that's what journalists do. That's what citizen journalists do. And we all have a right to see how government operates.
Warmus filed a Freedom of Information request with the city of Lockport for police body camera footage stemming from a February recorded audit of a State Department of Labor office. Lockport Police responded to the scene with body-worn cameras rolling. But the request was denied, then appealed by Warmus, and then denied again, prompting Warmus to sue the city. On the day the lawsuit was served, Warmus was there to record it.
My name's Samantha. I'm a process server. I'm just here to serve you with a lawsuit.
To show the public for educational purposes of, all the steps, including it. And I just simply filmed the lawsuit being served.
The city's attorney tells News 4 Investigates that during a recent appearance in court, there was substantial discussion about the lawsuit and a possible resolution. The attorney believes that the city and Warmus are near an amicable resolution on this matter.
All set?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm all set.
All right. Thank you.
An affidavit submitted by City of Lockport Police Chief Stephen Abbott states that he recommended that the city deny the Freedom of Information request because the records were compiled for law enforcement purposes and may be relative to a pending law enforcement investigation.
And they denied the body camera footage with the excuse that body camera footage is derived for law enforcement purposes, and there may be a future investigation, which no criminal activity happened that day, so that what criminal investigation could they be doing, I'm not sure.
First Amendment attorney Joseph Finnerty, who considers Warmus's audits journalism, says there's a history of government using certain tactics to chill reporting and accountability, whether it be a citizen or paid journalist pressing. In Warmus's case, he must now defend himself against harassment accusations brought by the city of Lockport, which Finnerty sees as a serious infringement on the right to examine government operations and records.
And I think that they are walking a very, very fine line between legality and illegality. And in this case, I don't think there's any question that they're on the wrong side of that line.
An attorney for Warmus tells News 4 Investigates in an email that he doesn't believe the court will see any violation of conditions in the video, and that he would be shocked if the judge hasn't viewed it already. Luke Moretti, News 4.
They had charged me with for peacefully exercising our constitutional rights to video record in public. On the September 6th, they sent this paper out in the mail charge. So on the 18th, they're claiming that I harassed these people by video recording in public. So they're claiming that I he or she engages in a course of conduct, repeatedly commits acts which alarm or seriously annoy such person and which serve no legitimate purpose. But you see, fam, I did serve legitimate purpose in documenting the FOIL procedure from filing a FOIL request to appealing the FOIL request to serving them a lawsuit, and documented it for educational and news purposes. So their accusation that there is served no purpose is null and void. I'm not going to go over their sworn affidavits that they were just riddled with lies, where they lied to try to embellish the truth of what happened to try to get me in trouble in court. You guys can check that video out yourselves. It's linked in the description, but it's absolute craziness and hypocrisy what they went through and lied and how they lied. So if you haven't checked it out, you can check it out. It's linked in the description. But these clerks are out of their mind. Then the next video put out was the sworn affidavit by the chief of the chief of police, who, well, if you want to watch the full video about his affidavit, you can, but I'm going to recap just a tiny bit before we move on to the next chapter of this saga. The full video is linked in the description of his affidavit. All right, Erie County fam, let's go ahead and take a look at this new set of corruption and dodging accountability and lack of transparency in our government. And this today is brought to you by the one and only leader of corruption here in Lockport, New York, Stephen Abbott. So let's go ahead and take a look at his sworn statement of the Lockport Police Department on his sworn affidavit to try to dismiss the lawsuit for the body camera footage inside that lobby that he is so desperately trying to hide. There was one point in which an officer stepped in the back area to have a discussion with an employee at the Department of Labor. Warmus was not privy to those conversations. So what Chief Abbott here is saying is that I was not privy because there is secret government conversations going on here in the back room. Furthermore, that line below, I was concerned the identity of the employees of the Department of Labor who had given statements outside of the presence of Warmus would be disclosed on his YouTube channel. Thereafter, these public employees are bombarded with barrages of condescending verbal attacks and threats from Warmus's followers. Chief says here, my fear was that... Do a quick pause here to point out that in this affidavit it says, my fear is that. Well, he denied it because the body camera footage would impede in a pending law enforcement investigation. Then he turns around and tells the truth by saying, my fear is that. It doesn't say anything in the public records laws that you can deny body cameras because of fear. Therefore, obviously, he just got caught in another lie. Here, my fear was that releasing the statements and identities of the Department of Labor employees would cause extreme levels of threat and intimidation to them. This would likely inhibit the employees' willingness to cooperate in any further investigations. The chief's idea here, which is out there, it's way out there, guys, is that his fear that releasing the identities and the employees would cause extreme levels of threats and intimidation to them. This would likely inhibit the employee's willingness to cooperate in any further investigations and thereby interfering with the investigations. So if the people get caught in their lies and they lie about things, we got 4 clerks lying through their teeth. We got a chief of police who's a complete traitor to the people and a lying thief, stealing tax money for a paycheck while lying to the public. It's ridiculous. And he wants to say that people's willingness for further investigations to, lie for him. He wants to cover that up by, writing this affidavit. So his totally weak, imaginary interpretation of that law, it's released them lying on camera or saying something bad. They're not going to lie for him in the future. And that's how he's interpreting that. It would inhibit the investigations in pending law enforcement investigation in the future. These don't even exist. He just wants these people to lie for him in the future, so he's going to protect them so they can lie. Lying Lockport. Now, that's pretty much an admission that you are hiding something, Chief. So they wanted this to dismiss this so they can continue lying. All right, Erie County fam. So the next step to this saga is that the lawsuit that I filed against the city, that we just heard the chief talk about why it should be denied, well, he lost in court because he had no real ruling or standing in court for denying it anyways. So what we got is, before the judge made a ruling, they knew they were going to rule against him, and they kind of folded in court because they know they lost. They know they had no grounds, no legal grounds. If you watch that full video of the chief of police's sworn affidavit of why it shouldn't be, his whole affidavit was all feelings. There was absolutely no law or anything that backed it up. So what they did is they come up with this settlement agreement here that I got on the screen, and to give out what they were supposed to in the first place. And they had to admit pretty much that they were wrong, but they did it in a way so it looks like they just decided to settle with me and do a 180 from what the chief of police had in his whole affidavit. We just took a brief look at. And if you look through his whole original video of his affidavit, you'll see what it is. It's all feelings. There's no law to back any of it up. It's all just feelings and thoughts of what the law could mean, but it just doesn't. Doesn't jive, it doesn't line up. The link in the description for the original video of that if you want to watch the whole one if you haven't already. But let's go ahead and take a look at this settlement statement, and you can see that it says draft on it. It's because this is just the copy that I got before I signed it or before I agreed to it. And let's take a look at what they have to say on here. So it's a stipulation of settlement, and the reason they're settling here is because the judge was pretty much going to rule in our favor anyways, because they had no standing not to give me this footage, and they pretty much had to admit it here. So you can see all the things that I full requested and that they didn't give out, and some legal mumbo jumbo there. So they consider this a mutual agreement, which, you know what, it's against what they wanted, but it's everything I wanted, and they call it mutual just so it looks like they're not losing, but they lost. They lost in court. The city acknowledged that the records requested by Warmus are no longer needed for law enforcement purposes under public officials law, officers law, but the fact of the matter is he never had a way to withhold it from me within the public officers law, so they had to give it up. The city failed to preserve the Axon body camera footage requested due to an error in the system. It was automatically deleted, which we're going to take a look at the Axon body camera trail, which we got from there in a second here. But they're saying it was accidentally deleted. In other words, they waited till it could auto delete, and then they let it auto delete so that they never had to give it out. That's pretty much what they did. Upon learning of the error of the system, the city has taken steps to ensure in the future preserving where there is pending FOIL requests. So what this is actually saying up here in number 3 here is that the city was forced to rewrite their policy. They had an auto delete, like something like, body camera footage for that incident at the labor department. Had no real reason for them to hold it because there was no crime. Therefore, there really was no ever investigation going on with it. You've seen his weak example of what he thought of the thing meant. But what it's saying here is that they acknowledge that they deleted it, and if they do it again, and it's not going to happen again. So Lockport here in number 3 is what they're doing is they're being forced to rewrite their policy within the police department. So auditing Erie County in this lawsuit caused them to rewrite their policy. This way, if somebody does a full request for body camera footage that isn't required by law, like there was an arrest, they have to hold it for 2 or 3 years by law. If there's no incident, they can delete this stuff. So if somebody full requests it and then they deny it, then they appeal it, and then they sue for it, this police department now has to hold on to the footage until the full process is done, and they're calling this an error in the system. So this lawsuit forced them to rewrite their policy so that they won't do this again in the future. And if they do, not only are they going to be in trouble, they're going to get rebuked by the court twice as bad because we busted them for a faulty understanding of the law, the public officers law. The city represents warranted the in bad faith ill intent in part automatically deletion of the body camera footage. The city agrees to provide Warmus a redacted police report. We're going to take a look at that of the 14th of the, they wouldn't give me the police report, and, the officers, within 7 days, the city further goes to pay Daniel $1,000. They had to pay my attorney fees. So you've seen there where in the original, chief's affidavit, he swore that we shouldn't get attorney fees, but as you can see up here, we got them. So we're going to show you the check from the city that cost the taxpayers $1,000 because the chief had ego, and because they had ego and they tried to cover something up. So whatever that cover up cost the taxpayers of Lockport $1,000 to cover it up, and they had to change their policy because they got beat in court by auditing Erie County and Brittany Penberthy Law. The parties acknowledged that during the discussion, the result is the agreement that their full representation, an unlimited right. It's pretty much saying that I agree that once this is settled, they give me the thing, I can't sue them further, which when you're in a full agreement, you really can't sue for no more than what you are requesting and what the attorney fees are. So there was really nothing more I could sue them for here on this specific thing. So let's go ahead and, there's the document. We go ahead and read some of this if you guys want. So that ended up getting signed, and then we got the other stuff that we were asking for. So let's go ahead and take a look at that stuff. We'll start with this is the police report that they promised that they had no problem giving out to us. And you remember Officer Struckweld saying, hey, just come down. As soon as the report's done, I'm willing to give it to you. No problem. Come down to the station and get it. Well, $1,000 lawsuit, and 8 months later, we finally got the police report.
And have no problem giving you that report as soon as you come down and get it.
And have no problem giving you that report as soon as you come down and get it.
Let's go ahead and take a look at it, and we'll glance through it and read what they had to say about what they thought of the interaction of the First Amendment audit on the 14th of February this year. So this is the police report that they gave us. Let's see what we got here. Times, dates. Patrol was dispatched to the above location for the report of an unwanted party that was filming within the building. Upon arrival, patrol located the staff and a male who was reluctant to provide his personal information. Reluctant to provide his personal information meant that I was exercising my constitutional rights. However, he did express that he was exercising his First Amendment rights. Patrol did inquire whether he had business other than filming in the Labor Department and said he did not. Patrol did speak to the supervisor in charge, who expressed her concern with the male's particular demeanor and the fact that he was filming, causing staff members and the public to become alarmed and uncomfortable. Patrol did ask whether there was a policy of filming within the building. Patrol was advised that the immediate area was in fact public access. However, beyond the door to the back offices space is for staff and clients with appointments that were escorted back there. Patrol did emphasize that this was a tough situation. However, at this time, there was no line crossed or law broken for Patrol to take police actions. Patrol did attempt to gain the male's information for report purposes. However, he declined to give it. Patrol did advise the male that if he is not to enter the back areas to film personal documents within the building, for there is a level of privacy of personal information. Patrol asked if he was completed with and he was trying to accomplish and would follow the patrol outside. The male asked if he could have a run number. Patrol advised him that he is more than welcome to come to the department for the records department with it provided a copy of the report. The male was pursuant in having the number regarding the relevant report. We asked for the call number so that I could forward the report. And ego-driven Mr. Streckwald refused to give it out. The male was persistent in having the number, and the male walked over to car 28 and placed his phone close to the front driver's window and recorded to take pictures of the computer screen or contents of the vehicle. Patrol asked the male if he needed any further assistance, and he said he did not. Patrol cleared without incident. That's it. That isn't exactly what happened. I mean, I don't know why these guys write these stuff as if like they don't realize it's all on video. It's ridiculous how they act like, oh, he refused to give information. He was being difficult. I don't know how exercising your Fourth Amendment rights is being difficult. So that's the police report that they said I can come down to the station and get, but you could see what it took to get it. It was quite ridiculous that it took that long to even get these records and be able to have that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it cost the taxpayers. All right, fam, this is what it cost the taxpayers for the cost of freedom of information law when they denied the full request because it was derived for law enforcement purposes and making up a whole bunch of malarkey. Let me tell you guys, it is hard to do a full request, appeal, and then a lawsuit and recover your attorney fees. And they did get our attorney fees recovered here. And the only reason it was is because the chief and the judge seen right through it. They knew they lied. They knew their reasoning was BS, and they knew the judge was going to award it anyway. So they just gave it up on what they call a stipulation settlement. But it's almost impossible to get it. But here it is: the city of Lockport paying out $1,000 to $1,000 to cover up the incident, and that's what it costs the taxpayers. It's ridiculous that it went this far, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and look at the Axon body camera trail, and we'll talk a little about Axon body camera trail footage. All right, Erie County fam, the next thing we're looking at here is going to be the Axon audit trail. This is the audit trail, the body camera. It tells you everything that goes on there. There's a few different names for it. Some companies call it the metadata, some call it the audit trail, some call it let's see, this one here is called evidence audit trail. So this thing here tells you everything there is to know about the video taken on a body camera. So not only does it log the video, it logs all the information. So if we scroll down here to, and we're looking here at number 1 up here, it shows you recorded started button. Number 2 is the recorded stop button. So the first event is he started recording on February 14th at 13:26 and 31 seconds, and at the stop recording button he hit it at 13:41. So that gives you a time frame of exactly how long the video was. So if they edit something out, you'll know. This is definitely something you guys will want to request when you're requesting body camera footage and you want everything and you want to know that there's no corruption going on. This is a perfect example of you do a FOIL request or a FOIA request or any public records request for body camera footage. You also want to request this as well. This way you know if there's any foul play. So number 3 there shows evidence was uploaded and started with the camera was docked. At 15:40 at the exact same time, the evidence was recorded and created. All right, so at the same time as well, badge put it in is who touched it. All right, the system at that about 10 minutes later, you can see the number 6 here. It says the system evidence. So it gave it a serial number. And if you just go down the line here, and the system is doing different things here, these are just automated things that the system does. When you see the word system, number 5 up there, you see who did it, who touched it. So Streckwell put it in there, and that's where it's saying added a title. So that's when Streckwell gave the title of it and typed in a title. And then the system successfully did what it did, and you can see as you go through here. So on February 18th, Streckwell once again accessed the video, and whether he watched it, I'm not sure exactly what he did there. As you go through 12 again, on the 18th, next minute, he buffered system loaded page. Every time they touch it, and you can see, his name is on it. If we scroll down here to 22, it shows evidence recorded access. So all the events there is something that Streckwell did. Now Datillo, badge 39, number 22 up here, he accessed the video. So you can see how every time somebody else or someone touches it, they their numbers attached to it. So if they edit the file, if they access the file, if they look at the file, if they loaded it, if they watched it, you're going to see exactly what was done with it. If you can see here, number 29 here, it says the system record status updated to delete from form open. So on the August 13th, it's looking like the system said, all right, this isn't going to be needed anymore, and the system here says that they're going to delete this file. At 15:18, you can see that they are going to delete it. The system did it. There's nobody's name attached to it, so the system queued it for deletion, and August 20th, the system deleted the file. Then on the 32nd, Kaufman went ahead and accessed this again, and this is Kaufman, badge 44, went ahead and accessed it again. Is probably when he went ahead and printed up this information so that he could have it for the courts, because this is right around the time we filed for the Freedom of Information request lawsuit against it for this stuff. So they had to access it to print this document here up. And by the time we went to court, which was the 13th, we served them on the 18th. The system already deleted it. How convenient. But the reason I wanted to show you this one, this is Struckwell's. This is the one where they talked in the back room, and you can see how many times somebody looked at this file and how many times they looked at it and accessed it and reviewed it. And it just goes to show that somebody reviewed it probably close to 25 times, that somebody watched this video and looked at it. Now, and the reason I'm saying that, because if we go ahead now and look at the other body camera, the other officer, male that was there, let's go ahead and take a look at his. Now we pull up here Mayo's system, on the 14th, it shows the same thing. He put it in there, he did it, it was uploaded, created, the system did its thing. You can see how many times it was not viewed because there was no back room. Nobody had cared about it. There's only 19 entries here, versus the other one was looked at how many times, where these ones here were, nobody looked at it, because this one here, he stayed out the whole time and there was nothing to cover up there. So you can see how many more times somebody watched the other video versus this one. And it really makes you wonder, fam. What in the world did they say back there? What was the secret government going on, and what did they cover up? You can clearly see that they had something to cover up. So that is the other Axon body camera trail. Remember, guys, if you want to full request body camera footage or FOIA it, make sure you're asking for that Axon body camera trail that cuts down on the BS and any foul play that they could possibly do with that. So after winning that first lawsuit for the public records, the original harassment charges, the 4 counts of harassment, is the only thing left. And the definition of harassment is to alarm and annoy with no legitimate purpose. Now, you could only imagine it's going to be extra hard for them to prove in court that I had no legitimate purpose, when the courts ruled that I had a legitimate purpose to get those records. And they had to pay my attorney fees. So on December 14th, I attended court in front of the judge, and then this happened.
Against a Western New York man who took part in the January 6th breach of the U.S. Capitol have been dropped. Dan Warmis from Alden was facing charges for allegedly harassing employees at Lockport City Hall during an incident last February. Warmis was still on probation for his involvement in the Capitol breach when this incident happened. Now, according to the Niagara County DA's office, the charges against Warmis have been dismissed.
A follow-up to a story reported recently by News 4 Investigates involves a local constitutional advocate. A judge has dismissed harassment charges filed by 4 City of Lockport clerks against a First Amendment advocate who records people in public places, usually elected officials. Then the judge has agreed to dismiss the charges against Dan Warmis, who operates the YouTube page Auditing Erie County. Warmis records elected officials in government buildings to test their knowledge of the Constitution. Warmis also settled a lawsuit with the city in his effort to seek Lockport Police body cam footage of a separate incident at a state labor government building. Now, city officials concede the video should have been turned over, but it was accidentally destroyed. The city ended up paying Warmis' attorney fees.
All right, Erie County fam. So as far as the 4 counts of harassment leveled against me by the 4 city clerks for video recording peacefully in the clerk's office have been dismissed in the name of justice. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article here that is in the Lockport Sun Journal, written up here, and let's take a look at it. Self-described First Amendment auditor Dan Warmis left the courtroom with an audible "woo," which I did. I celebrated too soon, and my attorney yelled. Nick Texago definitely yelled at me, said that cut that out. You know, I got rebuked for that one, but it was exciting. It was a kind of a restore in the faith in the justice system, because I thought, you know, there was going to be a fix-in on this one, but the city judge Thomas DeMillo dismissed 4 charges of harassment leveled against me by 4 city employees, finding while Warmis' actions of the city clerk's office on August 16th were annoying and strange, I had broken no law. So the judge dismissed all 4 charges against me, and that is the update to that. You guys can pause that and read it if you'd like. Well, Erie County fam, you guessed it. There's only one thing left to do. After a malicious prosecution case, time to file that second lawsuit.
Hey guys, Redress now here out in front of the City of Lockport Municipal Building. It is Tuesday, November the 14th, and we're out here today to go ahead and serve process on several City of Lockport employees. This deals with a bogus harassment case that has been lodged against our friend Mr. Erie County of Auditing Erie County. This is essentially a countersuit alleging malicious prosecution against the owner-operator of Auditing Erie County for really doing nothing more but nothing more than what we're about to do right now, which is going into a government building and asserting our First Amendment right to record. And what are we recording? Official business, process service upon government officials. So we're gonna go ahead and pop in here and attempt to serve some folks from the city clerk's office and try to get this lawsuit moving for Mr. Erie County. Mr. Whitmer.
How can I help you, sir? You cannot film right here.
Oh, sure. We're just trying to. We need to go to the city clerk's office.
You got to turn the camera off. I can see the blinking light.
Well,
you cannot film in this area. There's signs everywhere. You've been in here before.
That's true. Yes, I have been.
Yes. So you're aware of the court's policy.
Well, we're not going into the court. We're just going to the city clerk's office.
I understand, but you're filming security right now. You cannot film in the court area. I'm not stopping you from filming down there. I'm stopping you from filming right here, right now.
Okay.
Okay.
But we're not in the court. We're.
This is the court. I am part of the court. This is New York State court officer. You're
This is a security post. Can't film here.
Why don't you move the post then closer to the court?
Because
Government's not efficient, I get it.
that's the way it is.
Can we?
The security post provides security for the entirety of the building. After we get you through the security post, you're more than welcome to film in the areas that are open to the city public.
So you're not going to stop us from filming going through here to go ahead and conduct our business with the city clerk?
Once you get through security screening, absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm actually here to serve process on 4 city employees.
Hi.
How are we doing?
Doing all right.
So I'm here to serve process on 4 city employees. Looking for Sarah Lanzo,
I'm Sarah.
Jennifer Wochna,
She's not here.
Carol Edwards,
She's not here.
and Emily Stoddard.
Okay.
So you said you're Miss Lanzo?
I am.
All right, so that's for you. And are you guys able to accept service of process for these other city employees?
I can take them all.
Okay, all right, so we've got that. And then just another element to provide to you guys. This is a decision from the Southern District of New York. This deals with right to record law in New York. And you guys just may want to look this over because it's relevant to what's happening with, with this particular process service. All right. So you guys are all set to go ahead and provide those to those other city employees?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Thanks very much.
Email me request, because if you denied it, this way I can get the lawsuit going quicker.
I'll send it out as a,
So that's that. They've been served.
All right, fam. So you've seen us serve that city up with a lawsuit for malicious prosecution and violations of the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, and put me through the bullshit of 4 counts of harassment. So we went ahead here and filed that notice of claim you just seen. You could clearly see Ms. Lanzo is still not laughing now. Her face droops down and you can see how serious it gets. But this is the kind of stuff that these public servants do. But as you can see here, we are serving a lawsuit claim up against the City of Lockport, the City of Lockport Police Department, the John Does of the Police Department, city employee, all 4 of the clerks here who filed false police reports against me. We're suing every single one of them. We're suing the city itself, the John Does of the city, and put this notice of claim in against the city. So once again, Brittany Penberthy representing me, and we're not going to let them get away with this. And unfortunately, it's going to cost the taxpayers, but that's the price that the city is allowing the taxpayers to pay by just maliciously prosecuting, acting a fool, trying to retaliate, and we're not going to put up with it. I mean, the last thing I want to do is file lawsuits, but at the end of the day, I spent a lot of money on attorneys to fight 4 faulty charges that were dismissed. There was no basis for them. They were dismissed. The judge said that, my actions that day may have been strange. They may have been annoying, but it's not a crime. It didn't result to any criminal activity, and he had no choice but to dismiss it. So they dismissed all 4 charges. We're gonna sue the city, and unfortunately, for the taxpayers, they're gonna have to pay out, and that's the cost of freedom that the taxpayers in Lockport. When it's time to vote, maybe we need to think about who we're voting in, and maybe we need to get rid of some of these people. That chief of police is a damn liar. I can't believe that they allowed this to happen. That's just the way it is, though. So we served up that notice of intent to sue. So now this is lawsuit number 2, and that's the update on the lying Lockport saga. And right now, that's where we're at.
I'll send it out as a,
Get the lawsuit going quicker.
We live in a society now where people want to record how they discipline their child. People that might get mad with this video is the people that probably already embarrassed their child. You can discipline your child in their room. Take something away from them. If they act up, well, I'm like, son, you can't play the game.
Is that the immediate area, in fact, was public access. Fucking bitch ass, fucking horrible at reading. I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this. You understand that it goes against the Constitution?
I don't have anything to do with it as far as following the Constitution.
You pull the Constitution out of your pockets in here. Like that was supposed to prove something.
First Amendment, freedom of the press.
We have every right to film out here and there.
Your name is not Dan Erie County.
This isn't Erie County.
Yeah.
Sure it is. On here is Dan Erie County.
Legitimate? Maybe. Official? No.